Hello, everyone. KJ here in the middle of the week. A lot to go over, a lot to talk about. Do y'all remember when I first opened this channel, how it kind of evolved? And this whole concept of justice through understanding. And do any of y'all remember OKJ talking about, well, we're learning about these facts, not only about these trials, but we're also learning the ins and outs of the justice system and all of these things that could possibly, we talked about it. And I said, why are we talking about these specific topics? Because, folks, when the trial of Chad and Lori Daybell commenced, I believe that for myself and perhaps even you, we remembered what we had learned throughout, all the times we took up space trying to fill the content until the trial came about. And it seemed like things clicked a little better. For me, anyway. I hope it did for you. Well, OKJ is going to continue down this road of justice through understanding. I mean, that it really does make a difference in my view of the crime genre community to learn a lot about the different aspects of different trials and stuff. Today, we are going to be discussing the Hussy, and we are going to discuss Donna Adelson. I put on the community wall, I put the link from the Tallahassee Democrat. She is trying to get out of jail, awaiting her trial, which is at the end of June there. And it's very interesting. And I listened to a lot this morning. I pretty much was like, we got news about the Hussy. We got this going on with Donna Adelson. And I know Donna Adelson stuff is pre-trial, and the Hussy's trial's coming up at the end of March here. And obviously, y'all, it's going to be kind of hard for me to overlap this stuff, but I'm going to do my best to do what? To get that justice through understanding. First and foremost, I got it right here from Justin Lum. The Hussy, she's been denied any relief there. Defendant's motion to dismiss. State's response to defendant's motion to dismiss for violation of Speedy Trial Act. And defendant's reply to state's response to the motion to dismiss. He denied her a dismissal and all of that. What I want to bring out, and I'm not going to be able to do it today, but the Rays know we will go over it, possibly tomorrow, is this whole thing about her standby counsel. And the reason I say that is they kind of a double whammy stuff in here. Y'all remember Lori? She wrote out her motion to dismiss and then, turned around. And this one right here, Pamela C. Hicks and Robert A. Abernathy, which is the Daybell team, her advisors, we are going to learn what that means. Let me just say this, on a federal level, now hear me, on a federal level, there is no right to stand by counsel, period, end of sentence. Every state decides what they're going to do, and a judge, it is his discretion on how that standby counsel will proceed, what they're able to do. We're going to learn all about it, just so when this trial commences of the Hussy, we're going to be able to see it in action. We already see it in action, right? They went behind the Hussy after she filed her motion to dismiss and did the same damn thing. And they weren't any more successful than she was. We'll go over that. This is basically less than 2 pages here. There's nothing other than to say that the defendant's motion disregards the exclusion of time as requested by her prior attorneys and as required during the Rule 11 process. That's it. She can just shit in one hand and hope in another. And her Daybell team, they just need to strap on the freaking buttercup boots there and get ready to go to be her advisors. And really, what does this judge, what does he consider the role of the standby counselors? And also, at any time before the trial, at the trial, in the middle of the trial, near the end of the trial, she could say, oh, it's too hard for me. And they could step into that role. But we'll go over that another time. What I do want to get everyone caught up on is Donna Adelson, okay? She is in court today. And instead of just writing out notes, I went to the source, the Tallahassee Democrat, who's been updating this trial, not this trial, but this hearing all morning and day. We're going to go over that. I might have a few comments that I want to throw in there. Y'all know how I am. And we'll just see how it goes. Just Me says Lori can, but she won't in terms of giving up her power. Just Me. Lori wants to be in control of it all. Which, by the way, a little hint on what we're going to talk about. And I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about it tomorrow. She just doesn't trust the system, does she? That has been time and time again reasons why these evil, diabolical people decide they want to represent themselves. But anyway, we're going to go over this. Some of y'all are interested in the Donna Adelson case, and some of you are not. And maybe some of y'all know more about it than OKJ does. But we're going to go over today's hearing so that we can put that in the record for when we move forward on it, okay? Donna Adelson is appearing in court today with hopes of being released on bond pending trial for her alleged role in the planned murder of Dan Markell. The 75-year-old attorneys, Josh Zellman and Jackie Fulford of Tallahassee, wrote in a motion filed earlier this month that Adelson has been physically abused and extorted at the Leon County Detention Facility, which will result in her inability to receive a fair trial. And we went over all the allegations and all of that. She's been put into protective custody. Adelson is being held without bond on charges of first-degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation. Defendants charged with first-degree murder typically are not allowed bond, okay? Adelson's attorneys will also be arguing this morning to throw out potential key evidence in the case, namely a jailhouse phone call with her son, Charlie Adelson. And y'all, they played it in court today. Again, it's posted on the community wall. You can look it up yourself. By God, it's damning as hell. And we'll go further in this and you'll understand why. Where she talked about possibly killing herself or fleeing overseas, less than a week later, she was arrested on murder charges while trying to board a flight out of Miami with her husband, Harvey, and one-way tickets to Vietnam. Jackie Fulford said nobody is complaining that Donna Adelson is getting food she doesn't like, but if she remains in jail, they cannot properly prepare for trial. She's on trial for her life in a town where everyone believes she's guilty, Fulford said. We cannot prepare for trial under these circumstances. Fulford argued that Adelson surrendered her passport, doesn't have a visa, and is put on a no-travel list, and the state has absolutely zero evidence to prove that she was fleeing the country at the time of her arrest. The one thing the state fails to remember is she's presumed innocent, said Fulford. She's being punished at this point. I'd argue that the state has not met its burden, Fulford said. She is safe there and will guarantee her presence at trial, the prosecuting Duggan said. She wasn't charged with first-degree murder when she tried to leave the country, Duggan said. I think she's a flight risk now more than ever. Duggan said Adelson had received medical attention faster than most people do who aren't incarcerated. All her basic needs are met and will continue to be met. She's in jail. It's not the Four Seasons, the prosecutor said. Now, just remember, they're dealing with a lot of different issues in today's hearing. Namely, whether she's going to get out on bond, but they're also the defense is trying to suppress evidence. They want to take into account her conditions in the jail and what's happened with these allegations. So let's move further into it. State calls the first witness to the stand in this bond hearing. Assistant State Attorney Sarah Duggan asked Chelsea Wilson, a criminal investigator for the Leon County Detention Facility, who investigated the incident where Donna Adelson was forced to buy commissary items for another inmate, to testify. Wilson said Adelson never revealed the name of the inmate who assaulted her and that it was a one-time incident. She said Adelson told her she felt safer in protective custody and had an easier time reviewing her case, which is, there you go, y'all. There's some good testimony right there. Donna told this woman, oh, it's better in protective custody and I can deal with my case better. What would be a reason the judge would let her out after hearing that, right? Lieutenant Robert Collins, a correctional officer at the jail, took the stand next. Collins said he was aware of only 2 incidents reports this month involving Adelson's claims about being extorted. He said when staff learns of such situations, they typically separate the 2 inmates. Well, they couldn't separate them if she's not going to tell them who it is, right? I mean, she's so damn scared of whoever this person is that she's not going to tell them. Now, the state crosses Donna Adelson in here. Y'all, Donna Adelson provided witness testimony today in her bond hearing. And like I told y'all, I posted the link. I challenge you to get caught up on it. We are going to deal with her trial in June. So let's all get on the same page if perhaps you're interested, okay? Assistant State Attorney Sarah Duggan asked if the woman who touched Donna Adelson in the shower was still at the jail with her. And Donna Adelson said, no. Duggan also asked about the girl who was forcing Adelson to buy her commissary items, to which Adelson responded saying, quote, she had half a dozen girls who came up to me, unquote. Moving on, Duggan asked Adelson about her leg and arm pain. Duggan showed her medical records that show her pain was noted as being mild. But Adelson says she never said that. No way is that pain mild, she said. Duggan later asked Adelson what she was trying to get to the airport on time for at the time of her arrest. Okay, here it goes, y'all. She has switched from Donna bitching about her physical condition in the jail. Now she's switching to this whole thing about Donna wanting to get to the airport on time. Adelson says she couldn't think straight after Charlie Adelson's conviction. Her and her husband Harvey were shocked and traumatized and were looking to leave to get time to think, y'all. She wanted to go to a non-extradition country, Vietnam, so she could think. I mean, what, she couldn't do that in Florida or what, another state in the United States? She had to go all the way over there so she could think? Give me a break. You were hoping to make it out of America, said Duggan. I wanted to get away. Harvey wanted to get away, said Donna. Adelson said they were looking. Now, here we go, y'all. This is damning. Because it says on the jail phone call, she was talking about non-extradition countries, so she couldn't very well say she wasn't talking about that. She said they were looking for non-extradition countries to be able to turn themselves in on their own terms if warrants were filed for their arrest. Now, why would she think that they were going to file warrants for her arrest if she's not guilty? And who the hell does she think she is? Oh, we're going to go to a non-extradition country and decide on our terms? She can kiss my country ass. That's what I'm talking about. Duggan asked if Adelson tried to leave the country to avoid being held accountable for Dan Markel's murder, and Donna Adelson said on the stand, I didn't do this. Now, Donna Adelson talks about the assaults and the incidents in the jail on the stand. Donna said that she was showering earlier in the morning because most of the women at the jail aren't around, so she gets some privacy. Out of nowhere, she said she felt a hand go up her back. I yelled, stop it! Adelson said, holding back tears. This girl said, "You like it?" I started to scream and she ran. This 75-year-old woman, if this is true, this woman, she put her hand on Donna's back while she was naked in the shower and said, "Do you like it?" I bet Donna hadn't felt that way in years. Give me a break, y'all. Give me a break. Another incident occurred while she was brushing her teeth one day. A woman grabbed and twisted her arm behind her back and said, "Unless you want these pretty white teeth knocked out of your mouth, you're going to buy me commissary." Are they real teeth? I don't know. Adelson said as she wiped away tears that she didn't want to tell anyone about the incident for a while because she was afraid of her. She's seen what happened to snitches. Each week, Adelson spent $40 a week at the commissary to buy food, mostly protein, she said. But the woman forcing her to buy commissary items for her wanted packages that cost more. "The only time she would approach me is in the bathroom," Adelson said. Adelson said the woman would ask her what she wanted each week, and Adelson would call her husband Harvey to order more food, not mentioning that it was for another person. To keep her away from the woman, Adelson was put in protective custody. And Jackie Fulford asked Adelson about her sleep and how it's been affecting her. Adelson said people are screaming, yelling, shaking the doors through the night, preventing her from sleeping. A good night of sleep is getting 3 hours, she said. Fulford asked if the judge allowed her to be released on bond. Would she live with her husband in Tallahassee, wear an ankle monitor, and comply with other terms of her release? And Donna said, yes, of course. And let's just stop there for a minute. If Donna Adelson, in fact, is hearing all that, and I believe it goes on. And in fact, if you listen to Charlie and hers jail phone calls, you can hear people yelling in the back while Charlie's in jail. Could you imagine what that hooker is having to hear day in and day out? Like screaming, like almost like sounds from hell. I mean, can you imagine that? It kind of gives me the fuzzies. What about y'all? Kathy Mama Bear says, I'll trade Mr. Tom Snorri for someone yelling. I could sleep through that. Oh, yeah, right, Happy 24/7. She's missing her nightly wine and pill popping. Yeah, she don't get them damn Xannies, does she? Happy 24/7. I like that name, by the way. It's not the wrist, says Just Me. And in the testimony today on the openings, the state did say again, it isn't the Four Seasons, right? So the judge moves to the bond hearing. And again, this has been wrote out by the Tallahassee Democrat in terms of updates. So if it seems like I'm going from subject to subject during the hearing, I apologize for that. But Donna Adelson retakes the stand in that aspect. So initially she's on the stand talking about these, allegations of other inmates doing these things. Also, she initially went on the stand to talk about her health conditions. Now she is back on the stand talking about the bond hearing. Jackie Fulford, which again is Donna's attorney, asked Donna Adelson to tell the court how many times she's been arrested for criminal offenses, and Donna says, never. She said she's been incarcerated for 15 and a half months, 470 days, starting in solitary confinement for 50 days before being moved to the annex. Fulford started going through her medical conditions. Adelson described her leg and hip pain as a pulling, shooting pain down my legs. She's needed assistance from the bailiffs walking up to the witness stand today for the hearing. Boy, she puts on an act now, don't she? She sure as hell didn't have a problem. And when they did that bump on her, when she's walking down the sidewalk there in Florida in her nice, cute little outfit there, she didn't look like she had a damn problem at all walking. Yeah, right. Some would say, okay, Jay, she's been in jail for 470 days. That can wreak havoc on a body and stuff. Well, she sure as hell didn't have a problem hiring some damn crazy-ass people to take out her son-in-law. She didn't have a problem with doing all she did, keeping up with Wendy and Dan Markell's kids, taking care of them, taking them to parks, taking them to sports. This woman didn't have no disability. Kathy Mama Bear says, there are many people in this world that would appreciate what Donna has right now. It would be luxury, guaranteed meals, medical, dental, etc. Right. Happy 24/7 says, Charlie got out of numerous criminal activity. She likely lawyered out of entitled life too. Jenny Benny says, and the award for most dramatic goes to Donna. Right. And Just Me says, imagine that. So anyway, she said she'd had these pains before prior to being arrested, and she's been treated for it with injections to her spine. Mike Hayden, the health service administrator at the Leon County Jail, previously testified that the jail doesn't administer spinal injections. So, there you go on that. And, in some ways, even though we don't have any evidence of Lori having any health conditions, could she eventually or have right now any kind of health problems? And what is available and what isn't? Is being in jail as opposed to prison, is jail medical more subpar? Or is it better than once you go to prison? That's something OKJ don't have the answer to. Maybe you do, or we could research that, Mary Sadler says, oh, gaming, I thought you were making a joke regarding Donna. If you are serious, I'm so sorry. That's very hard. Please excuse me, says Mary Sadler. Kathy says, she gets my nomination for the True Crime Oscars, talking about Donna. So, since being in the jail, Adelson has requested treatment and been given Tylenol for pain, but it doesn't relieve the pain, she said. A doctor told Adelson that a medical mattress could be helpful since she was essentially sleeping on metal since the mattress is so thin. A second mattress was provided by the annex's pod officer to help, but when she was moved out of the annex, the second mattress was taken away, Adelson said. I thought it was a good idea, but if you can't have it, you can't have it, Adelson said, her doctor said. Adelson went on to describe shooting pains from her left shoulder down her arm. It always feels like ants are crawling on them, Adelson said, on her fingers. I was assaulted by another inmate while I was here at the beginning of October, Adelson said. Tylenol was also provided for the pain in her arm. I asked if they could do anything for it, Adelson said. They said no, Tylenol. Fulford moved on to an issue with Adelson's ears that she used to receive care for being arrested. I have officers say to me, are you deaf, Adelson, she said. It's because I don't hear them due to the earwax that she needs removed from her ear canals. Adelson says she has difficulty hearing her attorneys when they're visiting her at the jail and also when they call her at the jail. This woman has been pampered her entire life, y'all. I mean, you think about it. Every want, every need, anything she wanted. You think that her husband and son there who can write prescriptions wasn't getting her whatever the hell she wanted? Specifically Xanax. Yeah, they're going to give her Xanax. The defense then switched gears and had Adelson start describing the cut she received while she was walking to the restroom and bumped into the washing machine and cut her arm pretty badly. Donna said, the bleeding wouldn't stop. It was just pouring out. She used a sanitary napkin to keep the wound from bleeding, and a night nurse who visited her later didn't have a Band-Aid or antibiotic cream or the form she needed to fill out in order to get proper help. Later, she was seen and given a Band-Aid and antibiotic cream. She also asked for a tetanus shot. Fulford asked Adelson about her chest tightness and shortness of breath. Adelson says she's not a doctor, so she doesn't know why it's happening. It's happening because she's used to popping the freaking Xannies, and now she has set up a freaking addiction to Xanax, and that's why her chest tightens up, y'all, in my opinion. I'm no doctor, but the woman, I mean, as soon as Charlie was calling her from the jail, he was saying, Mom, you and Dad need to take something to calm down and relax. She's like, we already did, son. I've gained more than a third of my body weight here, she stated. The diet is all carbs and no protein. I'm sure those those kosher meals of hers probably isn't up to her standard, considering she could go out to any freaking restaurant she wanted, have all the freaking protein she wants. What about Dan Markel? Does Dan Markel get to eat anything anymore? No, he's dead because she murdered his ass. The defense argues to throw out the recordings of her and Charlie there. Of course. Josh Zellman cited that every natural person has a right to be left alone in their private life. And that is a factual statement. In their private life, a person has a right to privacy, except when you're being investigated for murdering somebody. He cited a case involving a suspect who called a co-defendant from an interview room at a police department, and the call was recorded by equipment in the room. Circuit Judge Stephen Everett stopped him and questioned if the automated messages before answering a jail call makes this point mute. That the man at the police station did not get a warning that the call may be recorded. And Donna and Charlie both knew those calls were being recorded. Zellman said Donna Adelson hit the button to hang up during the calls in question with her son. That should be enough, he said. She thought she ended the call. But do you have to hit the end button more than once? Everett said. The testimony is that she believes she did, Zellman said. Now, the state argues to keep phone call recording as evidence. Obviously, the Assistant State Attorney, Sarah Duggan, asked Circuit Judge Stephen Everett if she could cite case law. Duggan said that Adelson argues that she had reasonable expectation of privacy, but that would start once a person hangs up, Duggan said. The defendant is responsible for hanging up, not the state, she said, and Donna Adelson never hung up that phone. She didn't hang it up. She just thought that Charlie had been disconnected. She didn't think in her mind, oh, I'm not hanging up the phone, but I know that they're not listening. No, she didn't hang up the damn phone. Or obviously, common sense says her recording of, I got to get out of here and all this other stuff. Talking about going to a non-extradition country and all that other stuff. It was played today in court. It was bombshell, y'all. Duggan compared the defense's claim to be similar to if a person said something in the presence of a law enforcement officer, assuming the officer wasn't listening. And again, you got the defense trying to bring up a case and saying, Judge, this case that we're talking about, this unrelated case, is kind of why we think that this phone call should not be entered. And then the state is bringing up a different one. Someone does not have reasonable expectation of privacy if they fail to take simple precautions, said the prosecutor. The state would ask that the defense motion be denied. Now, the state does cross-examine Donna Adelson. Assistant State Attorney Sarah Duggan asked about the automated message that is played before accepting a call from the jail. This particular call that day, you evidently didn't hang up, said the prosecutor. And Donna says on the stand, evidently. Josh Zellman asked Donna Adelson if she knew if Charlie Adelson was no longer on the call on November 7th of 2023. And she said no. Zellman asked if getting disconnected from her calls to Charlie while he was in jail was common. And Donna said, yeah, it happens a lot, unfortunately. Do you know at what point your son wasn't on the phone, the prosecutor said. No, said Donna. She said she believed the call was over and didn't believe her conversation with Charlie or her husband Harvey was being recorded. Now, during this testimony, Harvey there is sitting quietly in the front row of courtroom 3B for his wife's motion hearing. This is the first time Harvey has appeared in the gallery for any hearing in the Markel case. Very interesting. I guess he figures their money's going to get her out, huh? He thinks he's going to get to take Donna home, huh? Now, Jackie Fulford continues the cross-examination of Mike Hayden. Mike Hayden was called back to the stand. He said that the same level of care that you get in the community is what we provide. And Mike Hayden again, is part of the jail there. He confirmed that Donna Adelson received a Band-Aid and Neosporin for a cut she got on a washing machine. 7 days after the initial cut, a skin assessment was conducted and found to be healing properly. She received a tetanus shot out of precaution, Hayden said. And Jason Newland was asked to return to the stand. And Jason Newland confirmed that subpoena for the records was sent to Greg Toomey. He said it's standard for the state attorney's office to provide records to the defense. Circuit Judge Stephen Everett redirects back to the defense's cross-examination. Now, Jackie Fulford's cross-examination gets interrupted. The defense began her cross-examination after objecting to the medical records. Fulford asked Mike Hayden if he discussed the records with the state prior to stepping into the courtroom, and he said he did in the hall before entering the court today. And Judge Stephen Everett stops Fulford, asking her why she's cross-examining on records she just asked to have stricken from the record. I thought you were asking me to do my cross, Judge, Fulford said. Then I don't want to cross until we find out about the records because my cross is about that, Fulford added. Everett stopped the cross-examination and asked Newland to return. And again, y'all, these are updates, so you have to kind of put it together and know who these people are. But again, the state calls Mike Hayden to the stand. Assistant Attorney Sarah Duggan asked Mike Hayden to testify. He's the health service administrator at the Leon County Detention Facility. He explained that he's a registered nurse and the jail is able to provide basic life-saving measures because of limited resources, which makes no sense, but this is what the Tallahassee Democrat put. Hayden said some cells in the medical unit have a call button for emergency requests. Otherwise, inmates fill out request forms to receive medical attention. Duggan asked, if it's not something that the staff can treat, will they take her to the hospital to treat that necessity? And Hayden said yes. A chest x-ray showed that Adelson's lungs were clear after she complained of shortness of breath. Again, y'all, if she indeed does have a shortness of breath or a tight chest, that's because she's got all kind of stress and anxiety. She can't get a hold of them damn Xannies, okay? But she did receive a prescription for a breathing treatment. Lord, y'all, this woman's getting all the care she needs. Judge Everett's listening to this guy at the Leon County Jail talking about they're checking her cut. They're giving her breathing treatments. They're giving her a special mattress at one point. Jackie Fulford objected to the witness testimony, saying there's questions about if the state lawfully received Adelson's medical records, and said it was clear that the state has had conversations with Hayden about the records. Circuit Judge Stephen Everett made Hayden step down while they called Jason Newland back to determine how the records were obtained. But Hayden was brought back to finish his testimony. Duggan proceeded with her final questions. Why does the jail not prescribe narcotic medication? Y'all think Xanax is not in that damn controlled substance category there? Come on, y'all. They say, and I've read research where you know how some people that are alcoholic and they go through the DTs, they say benzodiazepines can do the same shit to you. That tells you all about that. But Hayden was brought back to finish his testimony, and Duggan proceeded with her final question about the narcotic medication. And Hayden says it's a currency and it's highly abused in jails is the reason why they don't allow prescribed narcotic medications. But, we're talking, let's get to Jason Newland, which has been brought up. Assistant State Attorney Sarah Duggan asked Jason Newland if the automated message tellers users that they have to hang up to stop the recording, and Newland confirmed. So Donna didn't listen to the recording saying you've got to hang up. She didn't hang up. And Newland confirmed it. He said that while Charlie Adelson was in the Leon County Detention Facility, thousands of calls were made between him and his mother. Does Donna Adelson properly hang up calls? Said Duggan. Yes, said Newland. Have you ever had a call with a friend where all of a sudden you can't hear a person? Duggan asked Newland. Yes, said Newland. Would you then need to hang up the phone to ensure the other person wasn't hearing your conversation throughout the day? And Newland said yes. Zellman redirects and asks Newland, is there any phrase about a non-extradition country? Newland said he'd have to listen to the recording again, but he knew that there was no indication of coming back when Adelson said she'd have to tell Wendy Adelson, her daughter, that they were leaving. Okay, now the defense plays the third jail call recording. The second recording also began with an automated message alerting users that the call wasn't private. Donna Adelson is heard crying on the phone, and she talks to her son Charlie, asking if there's anything else that they can do. Donna asks, "Can you hear me?" Nearly an hour into the call, Charlie. In the third recording, Donna mentioned needing to leave the country. "They're not recording my phone," she said at one point. The call that Charlie Adelson made went to his mother's cell phone, Zellman said. When a call drops, it could be because of a number of issues like the tower, battery, or the person on the other end just hangs up. And Jason Newland agreed. "Usually when the call fails, you get a beep beep and it's done," says Newland. "You've been on the phone talking. You're still talking if you didn't realize it got disconnected," Zellman said. And Newland confirms it and says yes. Now, Josh Zellman asked Jason Newland about what had been dubbed the open line call that happened on November 7th of 2023. On that call, Donna Adelson kept talking on a recorded line even after her son, Charlie Adelson, left the conversation. A recording of the call was played and an automated message is heard saying that this call is not a private call and that both parties on the call will be recorded before the mother and son are connected. "Can you hear me, Charlie?" Donna is heard saying at the end of the call. At that point, 8 minutes into the call, it's clear Donna realizes he's no longer on the call, Zellman said. Charlie attempts to call his mother back 6 times after the original call got disconnected. The attempts were unsuccessful. "Is that because his pen was already in use?" Zellman asked Newland. "I don't know," said Newland. Circuit Judge Stephen Everett started the hearing, choosing to take up Donna Adelson's suppression motion first. Adelson, who is in shackles and a purple jail jumpsuit, appeared to be trembling and holding back tears as she took deep breaths. Jason Newland, an investigator with the state attorney's office, was called to the witness stand first. Josh Zellman, one of Donna Adelson's attorneys, questioned Newland about Securus, the company contracted to provide communication services to prisons, and how it makes recordings. And y'all, I don't know how far they've gotten into it, and as you know, it's not chronological. I'm going backwards from it. If it doesn't make sense, maybe go to the end and back up. I don't know. Or better yet, just go to the hearing and listen for yourself, which I highly recommend. But just remember this, there are 5 people on the state's witness list who could be called to testify today, including Leon County Sheriff's deputies and correctional officials, a jail health care provider, and an attorney. The witnesses are Deidre Bateman, Robert Collins, Greg Toomey, Chelsea Wilson, and Mike Hayden. Toomey is an attorney who represented the jail in several cases and has testified at previous hearings in Adelson's case regarding her treatment in jail. And so, y'all, we're going to find out whether, I guess the crux of the matter is, her defense team wants her out pending her trial. And it's already almost the beginning of March. So she would get what? March, April, May. She'd get about 3+ months to go to any restaurant she wants to get the protein she wants. She can get her freaking Xanax. She can go and sleep in her big pillow top there up in some nice house in Tallahassee. She wouldn't be able to leave. She's 75 years old. She's already said people are assaulting her in jail. She's been put in protective custody. She's already said on the stand that things are better in protective custody, that she can follow her case by having that room away from the annex or the other inmates. The damning part of it all is when she says, we wanted to come back from a non-extradition country on our terms. In other words, this woman said on the stand today, basically, we felt that they were going to arrest us, and so we took off. And we wanted to turn ourselves in on our own terms. Well, how long would those terms have been? If she's in a non-extradition country, she could do it on her terms like, I'll wait till I die. I'm 74 years old at the time when she done this. Or 73, 74. She's been in jail for 470 days. She could have stayed down there in Vietnam, took up yoga, chopsticks, whatever, done whatever, get on one of them little boats, and her and Harvey go down through there where she could have her an umbrella and wait it out in Vietnam until she dies. If she was willing to go to a non-extradition country, and if you want to take her word for it, we thought we would get arrested and we wanted to come back on our terms, you'd have to specify and define, Donna Adelson, what are your terms? And I can't understand why the state didn't ask her that. I would have. If I'd been a prosecutor when she said that on the stand, on the cross, I'd have been, okay, you say you wanted to come back on your terms if warrants were issued for you and Harvey's arrest. What terms are those, Donna? What terms are those? Wouldn't it make sense, Donna, that if you found out there were warrants for your arrest, that you would immediately come back? Kathy Bomber says, it's ironic that she wants to live in the one place she was involved in unaliving someone to get her daughter. Right. She's okay with an ankle monitor. She's all right now with living in Tallahassee, although she shit all over the whole community of Tallahassee. It was just a backwater town to Donna. Her and her Miami bullshit. This woman, I've got all these health issues and all that. Not one time at any point in Donna and Charlie's phone calls, any of her emails, dogging out Christians or anything else, did she say anything about, I've got these pre-existing conditions and, I'm hurting and in so much pain. I guarantee you, if she had any of the aches and pains, y'all be 54 here in April. I get aches and pains, but I don't have no freaking damn painkillers. I just got to get over it. Or take me a shot of whiskey or something. Take me some ibuprofen. The Tylenol ain't helping Donna, right? It's not helping her. Well, I'll tell you what. I wonder how painful it must have felt when Dan Markell pulled into his garage and that freaking hitman shot him through the window into his head. He stayed alive before being pronounced dead at the hospital. How much pain was Dan Markell in? And another question, why in the hell is Harvey all of a sudden showing up at this hearing, but he's not been to he was not going to be at any of them. Now he's here, right? He's here. Happy 24/7 says, I'm here for justice for Dan via talking it out and shaming the criminals. All right, well, we're glad you're here. The reason I decided to pick this up is because, number one, I couldn't get away from the Rays. The Rays are just, they're the loves of my life. I love them all. and others, but specifically the Rays, and I couldn't let it go. I decided I was going to cover Donna Adelson because she wants to dog out Christians. She wants to make her grandchildren go to a Catholic church to piss Dan Markell off. That pisses me off. And then I didn't have any idea that the hooker was going to represent herself. I thought all that was in the rearview mirror. Now I'm going to have to deal with all that. I'm going to have to deal with it. The Rays and I are going to get justice through understanding. And let me just close by saying this. That is kind of a catch-up on Donna Adelson. And I will provide more insight as I learn more. This was just day one. I don't know if it will be done by today or whether there's more than one day. But let's just remember this. KJ's going to get with y'all on the Hussy. Since I had to go through all that on updating Donna Adelson, is the Daybell defense team doubling up, double whammying their motions? Yes, they are. Lori's writing them out, and then these other two attorneys are turning in one after that. They're double whammying. What does that say? What does that fact of the double whammy in the motions there, what does this say on an appeal if convicted? It says to me that any appeals court would say, well, she did that. She cited things properly in her handwriting stuff. And on top of that, she had another motion to dismiss filed by her advisors, her standby counsel. So it's not going to look good for Lori on appeal. Federal courts have already said that no one has a right to standby counsel. That's in federal court, obviously. But you think about the states. What does Arizona consider standby? Will the standby counsel for the Hussy, will they take over the trial at any point, at the beginning, middle, or near the end? Arizona allows judges to have their own discretion on what a standby counsel is and how they operate, what they're able to do. We're seeing it demonstrated already pre-trial. This judge is allowing them to go behind Lori after she does her handwritten motion and file basically the same bullshit. And he says it in this new news here. Nothing's changed, from my last ruling when the Hussy basically wrote it out. Lori doesn't seem to have an issue at all with these standby counsel members filing separate motions from her handwritten motions. So if she doesn't have a problem with that, then she can't very well say that anything's wrong. And on top of it all, if she's giving them the okay, and she has to. They're not filing these motions after her handwritten ones without her knowledge. She's letting them do that. But she's got to be the one that's got the power and control. And tomorrow we will go in depth on that. For those that want some facts, some little pieces of the puzzle to fill in before the trial so things click better, make more sense. Justice through understanding, correct? So anyway, I love you all. Get on the community wall or get to any site you want with Donna Adelson's motion, her bond hearing today, and see what you think. Leave your comments. We'll get back together. If this Judge Everett lets her out for 3+ months simply because she's 75 years old, he can kiss my ass. This woman, she's been given the medical attention. She's been given her own cell in protective custody. If this was a person of color or some white trash person like old KJ, they wouldn't let me out if I was charged with first-degree murder and all of what she's being charged with. But if they let her out, she will be long gone. You can be damn sure. You think this woman doesn't know that the time is a-ticking on her age? She can hide out in the United States anywhere. And by God, she's got the money to get someone to give her one of them fake-ass passports. And really, folks, you talking about the freaking borders of this country? The Canada border, the southern border. These MFs, they come up and come in and out. They do it all the time. This woman could get away. You know it and I know it. So Judge Everett better do the right thing and let this woman sit until her trial. That's what I'm talking about. Kathy Mama Bear says, I'm confused as to why Lori gets to represent herself and then have her standby counsel also file motions. In my understanding, it is one or the other, not both. Well, this goes to what we're going to talk about tomorrow, Kathy. And that is what Arizona thinks standby counsel is. And by the way, a real quick answer to what Arizona thinks standby counsel is, it's every specific judge's discretion on what they will allow standby counsel to do. So, obviously, the judge in Lori's case is allowing this. Again, look at it like this. There is no damn way her standby counsel is filing these motions behind Lori's back. So the judge knows they're working together. And so perhaps he's looking at it like, well, even though she kind of did the right, on her handwritten one, and y'all remember me saying that she had to have help with that one. There ain't no way this hooker went into a law library over there in the jail and figured out the citations. Her standby gave her the citations, and they looked it over before she filed it, right? The bottom line is the judge is looking at it like, okay, she did the handwritten one right. Now her standby counsel, she's given them permission to file basically the same motion to dismiss with the same damn citations, which I've kind of lined them all up. He's like, well, this is going to cover the appeals. I mean, I'm not going to bitch about it. If her standby counsel wants to file a motion in behind her motion of the same damn shit, just formatted, let them. She ain't going to be able to do anything about it. She sure as hell can't say because she represented herself and had standby counsel that she gets some kind of federal appeal there on that issue, because the federal appeals court's already said nobody has a right. Nobody has a right to standby counsel. It's what the state decides and it's under a judge's discretion. So again, pre-trial, we're seeing it. We're going to see how the Hussy utilizes her standby counsel, what they're going to do as the trial progresses. We're just seeing pre-trial stuff right now. And Lori's getting shot out of the water left and right. So, I hope that makes sense to all of y'all. I appreciate y'all bearing with me on an update of Donna Adelson. Leave your comments. We're going to get back together tomorrow, okay? And I'm going to go through this. I guarantee you, if you will listen to OKJ tomorrow talk about Arizona rules and law there, citation, along with what a judge would expect as a standby, attorney there for Lori, it's all going to make sense as we progress along. Sometimes you got to learn those stubborn, boring facts in order to really go, oh, okay, I see why this is being done the way it's being done. I can see this trial commence, and I can see right now how they're operating. Y'all, we see it. The question of whether or not 404B from Idaho is going to be included in this Arizona, we haven't even seen anything on that yet. And that's going to be something. So anyway, I love all of y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. We are going to get Justice Through Understanding, research analysis, and you as the Rays, we will get to it. With that being said, thank you, Kathy Mama Bear, Just Me, and others, Fancy Nancy, for modding today. I appreciate all of y'all on such short notice. I'm going to get back to Donna Adelson's bond hearing today and look it over, do some notes and all of that. But tomorrow for sure, be looking for me, okay, y'all? We're going to get the hooker straightened out. We're going to get ready, y'all, okay? So with that being said, you know what it always ends up being, y'all. Keep on looking. cookie.